Hi, this is Christina Dubois-Nugent coming to you with today's analysis and discussion, the old-fashioned way about butterfly strategies. So really what we want to talk about is taking a look and seeing how do you understand a butterfly. I want to get to the point when you look at a risk graph and you're looking at the profit loss of a risk graph, and this is going to be in modern view. And I'll do a little bit of discussion on classic view so you can make that transition over, because it's really important to me and to your own trading to be able to see that these are the same. The difference is where is the stock in relations to it. In the classic view, the stock chart would have to be turned on its side so you could see stock activity from 100, 110, 90, where in modern view the stock chart is over to the right, which is the normal view of a stock chart where you can see 100, 110, 90. So that's the difference, is on modern view it mends and it gels, if you will, well with the stock chart. In classic view it's really hard to be able to see that. You can't see the stock activity through the chart. Now the actual risk graph for a butterfly is a three-legged trade. So what we're looking at is we have three different strikes. What we have is one sell strike, that's times 2. And then on the wings of the butterfly, if you will, you have 2 buy legs. So the outside legs are your buy legs. Now you can do butterflies with all calls or all puts, but what we're doing is designing it to be as efficient as possible. So what you're looking to do is when you're bullish on a standard butterfly, you tend to use calls, and when you're bearish, you tend to use puts. Now more than anything it has to do with slippage. You want to minimize the impact of the bid-ask spread, how much it would take to buy the underlying option and then to resell that option. So that's why we're focused in bullish were calls, bearish were puts. Now the design of a butterfly is basically the addition of 2 different positions, if you will, added together. So I'm going to refer to the modern view and also do my best to explain it in classic view as well. So when I'm looking at modern view versus classic view, what we're building is, in the end, we're looking to build the butterfly. Now obviously we have the break-evens, so we have profit and loss, profit and loss. I'm not going to draw that in that because I don't want to muddy the picture. The risk graph is designed, again, using either all calls or all puts. You can use a combination of calls and puts. That's a little outside the scope of this discussion. It does cost an extra commission because you're dividing them into calls and puts. So we're just going to say all calls or all puts, and what we're looking to do is basically add pictures. What we're doing is we're adding this picture. Actually, let me do it in different colors. So we're going to be adding a bullish trade, and then we're going to add that to a bearish trade. And what the design is that we're buying the lower strike and selling the higher strike. Let me see here. Alright, so nothing like using lots of colors. And again, same thing, selling here and then we're buying up here. Now you can say, well, how does that work? Well, the sell strike ends up being the same strike. So the sell strike is the same strike. And by selling it twice, you end up getting this peak in your risk graph. Now let's look at that in modern view. So we're looking to create the addition of two different pictures where we're looking for, if you will, a bullish version, a bullish leg, if you will, and then we're going to add that to, if you will, a bearish part of the leg. And we're using the same sell strikes. So we're selling the strike twice. So we're selling it times 2, selling it times 2, and then the buy leg is on the outside. Now, where is the stock in relations to this? Well, it can be slightly out of the money. It can be slightly in the money for these short-term trades, but basically the option is somewhere, the stock's going to be somewhere within this range to this range. So basically, and I'm just going to draw it in right here. So this is the stock price. So the orange is the stock price, okay? Stock price is orange. That's my key over here. And on the bearish version, it's going to be, again, down here. For the classic view, stock is somewhere around here. Again, it could be slightly in the money as well. And on the bearish picture, it looks right about here. And what you're doing is you're adding these two pictures together. So if I was to add the bullish picture here, I'm basically drawing it right there. So on the classic view, this is where the bullish part of the position is. And then when I add the bearish part, which is normally a credit, by the way, it helps decrease my total risk in the trade. My margin requirements are not impacted because if I'm wrong, I'm going to be wrong on either side. What I want is for the stock to actually move into a range, or in this case stay also below a certain range, so that way I can take advantage of this particular version or this particular side, this particular activity. So when I'm looking at the actual trade, and this is a bullish version, or if you will, a call version, the stock is going to be somewhere around here, and what we're doing is we're looking for the stock to move inside that picture. So that's the first discussion of what the combination of a bullish and bearish pieces, putting it together and being able then to create a butterfly. So stay tuned to part 2 where we'll dissect that butterfly to the next level. Thanks.